Hello everyone and welcome to a new IBM RPG sample video. In this video I'm going to talk about handle null values in native RPG. We will explore how null fields are used, how to detect and manage them, and the best practices for working with them in your RPG programs. I hope that with this video we can clear up any doubts about how to use these types of values in RPG. Let's go! Well, as always, I'm gonna create a small program here in VSCode. As you see, I'm already connected to my IBM, in this case POP400. Let me create the program. It is gonna be test 134. Okay. Well, let me write the first lines of a simple program. This is gonna be a simple program without logic cycle, okay? Okay, this is my main procedure. Well, as I'm going to use a 100 barring length character string in my program, I'm going to use a template. So I can define it here, name t, that is going to be a boring character field of 100 template. Okay, so inside the main procedure I can declare it name of customer, that is going to be like name t. Okay, well, as an example, let me add a value to that string and write it to the job log. Okay, so name of customer is going to be John, for example, and I'm going to send this, the name of the customer is plus name of customer. Okay, very simple. This way I'm declaring this variable with this value inside, and I'm writing this to the job log. Okay, it is very simple. Well, okay, imagine that I want to have the possibility of assigning to this variable name of customer a null value. Okay, well, as you know, as the field is a character field, null is not a correct value for it. In the same way, if the variable is a numeric variable, I cannot assign to it a null value. How can I do it then? Well, for that, IBM introduced a few years ago something named null byte map. To activate it inside our program, we can add to the options of the program at the beginning here in the CTL op or the H sheet. We can add the option allow null user CTL. Okay. Well, this option has more possible values, but for my program, this is the one that I'm going to use. Of course, I suggest you to find this option in the IBM documentation to see the possible values and how to use them. Okay. Well, also, if we want that a variable has this null byte map, then we have to add to the definition the option NULLIND here. Okay. So I can add here this option. Okay. Well, I have to say that you cannot set the option NULLIND to a variable in a template definition. I cannot add it here. Okay, it is not possible. So I can do it here. Well, this way we are activating the null byte map. And if we want to know if a variable has a null value, what I have to do is something like this. If we have to use NULLIND of name of customer, okay, this returns an on or an off, an indicator. Okay, in that case, if it is null, then I can send the customer has no name. In other case, then I write the content of the variable. Okay, and it doesn't matter if the variable has a value. I mean, you can have a null field in a variable that has a value inside. Okay, so let me change the program so I will have a procedure that will write the content of the field controlling the possible null value. Okay, let me, for example, define here something like this, write name, and this is a procedure that that's gonna have this entry name, that is like name t constant, and I wanted to have the null indicator, so I have to write here this. Okay, we cannot add here directly null in like this. Okay, we have to do it this way. Well, then if null indicator, well, we can copy everything from here. If null indicator of name, then I can write here. If not, I can write this. Okay, and I can change the main procedure. For example, we can write John, and here we can write null indicator of name of customer is equal to on. Okay, this way I'm indicating that this field has a null value inside, even if it has a real value inside. Okay, and then I'm write name of customer, and the same again, but with the indicator of. Okay, well, it is very simple. Let me now test it. Let me compile the program. Okay, and we can run it directly from within the VS Code, because we can change it here in my filter, and we can run it directly here and see the result here. Okay, the first line is customer has no name. Why? Because in the first case I'm indicating here, I'm activating the null indicator here. Okay, so the customer has no name, and in the second execution of the procedure I have deactivated the indicator, so then in that case I'm writing the name of the customer. Okay, it is very simple. Well, let's talk about the database. Imagine that I have a physical file with a DDS like this. Let me show you. Let me change this this filter. Well, it is okay this way. So I'm going to create a new DDS. And I have to copy the definition that I want to show you. Is this okay? Well, as you can see, field 2 and field 3 has this option, allow null. Okay, that means that inside those fields can be stored a null value. For the first field is not possible, because by default in a DDS file a field cannot store a null value. This is different in case of SQL tables, where by default the field can store a null value. Okay, well, let me create a file, create physical file. Okay, let me leave it here, and okay, now let me change the program to use the file. Well, I am going to declare here the physical file test134. I'm going to use it for input and output. This in my library. And it is keyed, okay? And let me declare test 134ds, that is the data structure that I'm going to use to use the file defined inside the procedure, okay? Okay. And now let me change this. I'm not going to use this now. What I'm going to do is now is inserting a record in the file, okay? Test 134 field 1 is going to be 1. Field 2 is second field. And field 3 is third field, okay? And I'm going to write it to the file. I forgot to write here ds. Okay, so if I compile the program and run it again, okay, the program has inserted this record into the file. We can see it using db2.4i, for example. Okay, we can create here a new SQL document, select everything from test 134, and this is what I'm getting. Okay, first field is 1, the second field is second field, and third field is third field. Okay, great. We can close this, and let's change the program again. Now what I'm going to do is to add a new record, second one, but I am going to change this to activate the null indicator for the field number 2. Okay, the rest is gonna be the same. So if I compile it again, and we can run it again. Let's go here to IBM, run again. Okay, if we go again to the db2.4i and see what is inside the file, this is what I get. In the second field, I have a null value. Okay, it works perfectly. And what if I want to read the record? Okay, let's do it. We can change again the program. Let me remove this. And this is what I'm going to do. The second. And if found, field 1, we can check if null indicator of test 134ds field 2, else. And if it is null, I can send field 2 is null, else we can send field 2 is plus field 2. Okay, well, let's see if it is okay, if it runs. Okay, let's run it again. call program, and as you see, null2 is null. Okay, so it works. The program is detecting the null value perfectly. Okay, well, this is just an example, but as you have seen, handling null values in native RPG is quite straightforward. By using features like NULLIND and understanding how to manage null byte maps, you can easily incorporate null handling into your programs. I hope you liked the video and that it was useful to you. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you aren't already. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.